Holding up the service. Apologies. Got my own piece of water. Got my own family tree. Got my own set of heroes. It means something to me. Got my own way of praying, my own way to sing. Still I'm connected to you and everyone and everything. Got my own list of questions. Got my own truth to live. Got my own handmade gifts that I'm longing to give. Got my own star to follow, my own rivers to cross in my own time. Got my own roots to water. Got my own family tree. Got my own set of heroes that mean something to me. Got my own road to travel, my own stories to tell in my own time. Got my own way of talking. Got my own way to smile. Got my own way of walking. Got my own look and style. Got my own way of praying. My very own way to sing. Still I'm connected to you and everyone, everything. Still I'm connected to you and everything.
Thank you, Norman. That was beautiful. So now it's my turn. Good morning. Welcome to service at the Center for Conscious Living. We are pleased that you're here with us today. Can you hear me? Is that better? Right. Okay. I'm on camera and I've got the audio going. This is all new for me. Being here today, I want all of you to know that we're holding you all in consciousness. So if you are here today carrying a challenge on your heart or something's weighing on you, please know that we've got practitioners here, prayer practitioners. And Norman was just singing about how we're all connected. So you can let any cares go because the practitioners are holding the high watch for all of us. And you're here to just relax and know the truth of your own being and feel that connectedness. Thank you.
Good morning, CCL. If you will repeat after me. I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and peace.
I open my heart to universe, accepting love and peace.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and joy.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and joy.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting complete health.
Open my heart to the universe, accepting complete health.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and abundance.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and abundance.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Good morning, everyone. It is such joy to be able to be with you, even at a distance, because we know, as we just heard Christina and Norman say, we are never at a distance from one another. We are always together in the heart. And so we allow ourselves this morning to just take that deep breath together of gratitude that all of the world has come together, that we may join together this morning on Zoom, in person. We can watch later. We can do this all in our own time in the way that it serves our own lives, knowing that the perfection is always unfolding. And so today, as we step into this service, this invocation, this holiness, we remember the blessing of life that simply is, through and as the activity of love itself. There's one mind, one heart, one soul, one spirit, one everything that lives in and through us as well, shares its beauty, its talents, its love, its magnificence with each of us. Knowing that we are here by divine appointment for this blessing today, we allow ourselves to breathe into this space, release anything else. You can give it to those practitioners if you want, and the practitioners know to give it away as well. As we all hold in this place of safety, care, compassion, kindness, and love, knowing this emanates from the very spirit of who we are, that each and every one of us is divinely connected to our source. No intermediaries necessary. And today, we will hear the voices, we will sing the songs with our participants, with our leaders, with our friends, with our community. And knowing that all of this is the one voice of the one song, of the one heart and the one love. Blessing all those in service today, knowing that the word is spoken through Reverend Paul and Reverend Christina, Reverend Ken Davis, that Norman blesses us with his music, with all those who are here in service to bringing this service all the way, anywhere in the world today and beyond. We feel the divine unfolding of this moment in each and every life, knowing that all who are here, all who are on their way, and all who are thinking about us this morning are held in this divine blessing, knowing that whether we know it or not, we are always one and always connected. This service unfolds in this divine perfection today with you, each and every one of you, and this community blessing us all by being together. We are in deep gratitude for this morning. We allow this service to unfold as we release anything that holds us back from the great joy and great love of absolutely participating fully in the presence of love, spirit, God, infinite intelligence this morning. And so it is. I love you all.
We're at the affirmation. Oh. Oh, sorry.
If your problems won't go away and you worry and pray. If you're sick, feeling low, got no money, nowhere to go, hand it over and pray. Hand it over, hand it over, give it up, give it over, hand it over and pray. Ain't no mountain you can't climb, no answer you can't find. All you need is a hand to hold. It'll heal your body, feed your soul. If the road is dark, you can't find your way, let the Spirit guide the way. Hand it over and pray. Hand it over, hand it over, give it up, give it over, hand it over and pray. Ain't no mountain you can't climb, no valley you can't climb. All you need is a hand to hold. Feed your body, feed your soul. If you're lost and you can't find your way, let Spirit guide the way. Hand it over and pray.
Thank you, Norman. All right, now it's my turn. Vaudeville show going on here this morning. I'm honored to do this reading today from A Course in Miracles in tandem with my dear friend, Reverend Ken, and his homily today. This reading is going to be a little bit different than what we usually do. And I'm really going to ask you to really rest within yourself. And it's going to be kind of a meditative, contemplative experience. So what I'm going to do, I actually have two very brief readings from the Course. And I'm going to read through each one separately. And the first time I'm going to read through it normally. And then I'm going to go back to it and read it. I'm going to change the cadence and read it very slowly. And I'll ask you to just, go within your being and feel the vibration of the reading. Words have vibrations, and even beyond the words, the intentions that comes through Course in Miracles in this reading. If you really sit within your being, you'll go beyond the words and just feel the deep spiritual experience that will come to you. Both of these readings are from the text in A Course in Miracles. The first reading is from the text chapter 25. This world has much to offer to your peace and many chances to extend your own forgiveness. Such its purpose is. To those who want to see peace and forgiveness descend on them and offer them light. I ask you to just close your eyes and settle deeply into your chair as I read this and feel the reading. This world has much to offer to your peace. This world has much to offer to your peace. And many chances to extend your own forgiveness. And many chances to extend your own forgiveness. Such its purpose is. Such its purpose is. To those who want, to those who want, to those who want to see peace and forgiveness descend on them. To those who want to see peace and forgiveness descend on them. And offer them light. And offer them light. Take a nice deep breath. Just be with these vibrations for a moment. Deep words from A Course in Miracles. Second reading is from the text portion of the Course, chapter 14. Listen in silence and do not raise your voice against him. For he teaches the miracle of oneness, and before his lesson, division disappears. Listen. Listen in silence. And do not raise your voice against him. And this is spiritual guidance. Do not raise your voice against him. For he teaches the miracle of oneness. For he teaches the miracle of oneness. And before his lesson, division disappears. And before his lesson, division disappears. Amen.
If you will repeat after us, the affirmation is in your bulletin. Guided to my perfect place by beneficial contribution, I am love.
Guided to
Caring for others with great kindness, I am compassion.
Caring for others with great kindness, I am compassion.
Living in the presence of my oneness with all, I am grace.
Living in the presence of oneness with all, I am grace.
Blessing the world I see with vision, I am peace.
Blessing the world I see with vision, I am peace.
Being the awareness of truth, I am joy.
Being in the awareness of truth, I am joy.
And so it is.
So it is. I came across a child of God. He was walking on the road. And I asked him, where are you going? This he told me. I'm going down to Yasgur's farm. Gonna join in a rock and roll band. Gotta get back to the land and set my soul free. We are stardust, we are golden, we are hero carpet, and we gotta get ourselves back to the garden. Well, then can I walk beside you? I have come to lose this mark, and I feel like I'm a cog in something turning. Maybe it's just the time of year, maybe it's the time of man. I don't know who I am, but life is for men. We are stardust, we are golden, we are hero carpet, and we gotta get ourselves back to the garden. By the time we got to Woodstock, we were 500,000 strong. And everywhere there was song and celebration. And I dreamed I saw the bombers, jet planes riding shotgun in the sky, turning into butterflies across our nation. We are stardust, we are golden, we are billion-year-old cars. locked in a devil's bargain, and we gotta get ourselves back to the garden. We are stardust, we are golden. And we gotta get ourselves back to the garden.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you Reverend Ken Davis. Many of you know Ken because he's been a member of CCL here for a very long time. He's been in service here for a very long time. And he's my special friend because we were in foundations together. So we were foundations buddies. And there's always that deep heart connection, which I always feel with him. Reverend Ken, his primary spiritual practice is through A Course in Miracles. Many of you know A Course in Miracles, but if you don't, just very briefly, it's the words of Jesus that were channeled by a faculty member at Columbia University named Helen Schuckman, and a co-faculty member of hers, Bill Thetford, I think, worked with her as her scribe. So these words just kept coming through her, and she was not a spiritual person in any way. I think this was a complete surprise to her, but Spirit works through all of us in mysterious ways. And we have this very sacred text, A Course in Miracles, which has been and continues to bring many people to deeper and more profound awareness of their own spirituality, of the divine within them. So with that, I am very pleased to introduce Reverend Ken to you.
Morning, CCL. Always a pleasure. Sometimes a surprise and a pleasure. I'm going to tell you about three things. Three things you live with all the time, but I'm going to tell you about them anyway. Cannot know everything. But it's easy to forget this when your mind is always making predictions. And when it doesn't know what it doesn't know, fills in the blank, makes stuff up. That's number one. Next thing is, don't believe everything you think. Stay curious. That's the key. Third, your mind is divided between two teachers. One advocates for your smallness, and the other advocates for your enormity, your limitlessness. Let's start with the first one. You cannot know everything, but it's easy to forget this when your mind is always making these predictions. I met my wife in New York, and as newlyweds, I had chores. One of my chores, yes, you're in this one. One of my chores was to wash the dishes at night. Fair enough. We have a deal. She cooks, I eat. So the routine looks something like this. You wash a few dishes, and this is one of those old New York sinks. They didn't have a drain. I wasn't clever enough to buy one. So when it fills up, you got to reach in with your hands, get the gunk out, go throw it in the trash. You get through with about a third of the dishes, and sure enough, you got to do it again. You got to take your hands, your fingertips, reach in there, get the gunk out, throw it in the trash. Get to the pots, And you know, it's always worse. It's the same procedure though. Take your fingertips, your hands, reach into the drain, scrape it out, and throw it into the trash. Now, usually, by the time we get to the pots, I'm ready to be through with it. So once the pots are done, whether there's gunk in the drain or not, so am I. So after a few minutes of watching this man wash dishes, my wife says to me one morning, looking at the gunk in the drain, she says, men, you move mountains, you build bridges, but you can't reach in and get the gunk out of the sink. She didn't know. My process included doing that 3 or 4 times a night. This is what our brains do. We don't know, we make stuff up. I read a book recently, it's very interesting, but it talked about how perfect example of how the brain works. Perfect example. Go to a job interview and you come home and say they're going to call you that evening and let you know whether you got the job. And your brain spends all afternoon saying, they're not going to call. And even worse that they do, they're going to tell you you didn't get the job. They're not going to call. And even worse, if they do, they're going to tell you you didn't get the job all evening. And when they call and tell you got the job, the brain says, I knew they were going to call and tell you you got the job. I knew they were going to call and tell you you got the job. This thing is never wrong. You're so glad you got the job, you forgot you listened to 3 hours of You're Not. And when you did get the call, you listened to 2 minutes of I knew that's what was going to happen. And you still count on that thing being right. Even when it tells you all the nonsense you don't want to hear, that worries you, that upsets you, you still listen to it like it has something to say. So don't believe everything you think. Stay curious. Your mind, this is the third thing. Your mind is divided into 2 teachers. Remember, I talked to you about that. And so far, I've described to you one, but I'll get to that. I want to share my favorite story of this idea that you shouldn't believe everything you think. It's an old story, Taoist story. Farmer, people in my Course in Miracles meeting have heard this so many times, so just sit back and hear it again. There was a farmer with a son and 1 horse and plenty of neighbors. And they were doing okay until the horse ran away. So now they have no way to plow the fields. And the neighbors are saying, oh, how terrible. This is awful. This is, oh, how are you going to do this? Just you and your son? This is horrible. Farmer said, maybe yes, maybe so, maybe not. We'll see. So, of course, by and by, the horse came back with 2 or 3 other wild horses, a gift. And all the neighbors are saying, this is great. You got 4 horses now. when you only had one? This is like being rich. This is wonderful. And the farmer said, maybe so, maybe not. We'll see. Well, the son was trying to break in one of these wild horses. He broke his leg. And all the neighbors are saying, oh, this is horrible. This is terrible. What'd the farmer say? Maybe so, maybe not. We'll see. Soldiers from the National Army marched through town, recruiting all the able-bodied men for the army. But his farmer's son couldn't be recruited because he was injured. And the neighbor said, how great this is, how wonderful. Farmer said, maybe so, maybe not. We'll see. Don't believe everything you think. Stay curious. Let me tell you a little bit about me, my mom, my family. Both parents were from the South, and unusually, they both have college degrees. My mother's side, both her parents had college degrees. Now, it was expected that I would also have one, of course. My father struggled with school, he struggled with marriage, and was unhappy in his career. They were divorced after a few years, but she still had this one kid that reminded her of him. That would be me. And then I told her, well, Mom, I think college is not for me. This was a bad day. She had struggles with that one. She also had that same little voice we've been talking about in her head. And she believed that voice. She would say to me, you're so much like your father. And she would clam up because she realized where she was going was not a good place. It didn't take me long, however, to figure out that that was not necessarily a compliment. Okay. And once I figured that out, when she said it, and occasionally she would say it out of the blue, when that little voice got the best of her, I would say, my little voice in my head would say, she's right. My mind would begin to explain why she said this and what she might say next. Now, I didn't know my father that well, but then I began to make up a lot of negative stuff about him that must also apply to me. All of this was made up. And all of it I believed. Now, don't get me wrong. My mother was such a good mom that she was both mom and dad. And I was surrounded by male and female leaders, figures in my family that loved me. It was clear. I didn't even miss my father that much. In fact, I hardly thought about him except those times when, well, you know, that statement about you're just like your father, I began to wonder, well, okay, what is he like? Then I would miss him. I would wonder, well, what am I being accused of? Now, my mind would make stuff up. So let me look at this. Let me get back to this process with you. Let me look at it with you again. First step, life happens. She says what she says. He says what she says. They do what they do. This happens. Life happens. The mind makes a prediction about what's going to happen next and why this happened. That's step 2. Step 3, the mind fills in the blanks where it doesn't know. It makes stuff up in such a way that we think we have a complete picture of the facts instead of a combination of the facts and what we made up. And it all looks factual to us. That's the way the mind works. And then we believe that whole story the mind made up for us. Now, looking around the room, I'm having these little looks like, yeah, this seems kind of familiar. That's because it's happening to all of us every day, all day. But that's not the problem. Let's go over that again. Life happens. The mind predicts. The mind fills in the blanks and makes up stuff it cannot know. And then we believe the story. Parts of that process you have no control over. Parts of that process you have a little control over, maybe. Parts of that process are completely under your control. Can you tell which is which? It's pretty obvious. Some of you will claim otherwise, but the life happens part you have no control over. The mind predicting. Well, that's what it does. This is science, by the way. This is not me just telling you some things you've noticed going on in your head. This is science. It's making predictions all the time. You have minimal control over that. Then the mind fills in the blanks and makes up stuff we cannot know to be true, but pretend it is. You have a little control over that, not very much. And if you don't believe me, go to a website with optical illusions and see what your mind will make up that's not there. Step 4. We believe the story that we made up. That's the part you have complete control over. That's the only problem in this story. But by the time you get to step 4, you're so upset and pissed off that you don't notice that. So I've given you a pretty good description of the two minds, one of the two minds I mentioned to you early in my talk. You have two teachers. One is acting like that and believing the story it made up. The one to listen to is the one that gets interrupted when you stay curious. Let me say that again. The one where your spiritual power resides is the one that you can hear when you stay curious. That one is a powerful teacher. It's quiet. So you have to get the other one to shut up long enough to hear it. That one, where power resides, awaits your curiosity. I call it pure spirit. There are many names for it. How do you tell the two apart? If you ever have a chance to hear them both side by side, one is teaching you how tiny you are, how victimized you are. The other is teaching you how limitless you are. It's just that simple. So back to my mother. Quiet evening, sitting quietly in the living room, nothing really going on, not even TV, we're reading or something. She says out of the blue, "You won't ever amount to anything." Now remember, my mom has that same voice, and she believes that same voice. So for me sitting in the other chair, life just happens. We're on step one. Now, this is the particular evening that I want to share with you about, because she hardly ever said that to me, but she could not contain herself that evening. It was an interesting evening for me because when that life happened, my mind used all my past mistakes to explain why she was saying this and what she might say next. Sound familiar? That's step two. Step three. Next, my mind showed me all the ways she will be right. Of course, all the ways that my mind was showing me were made up ways, but never mind that. On that night, however, I had the question in my mind, is that really true? All the stuff my mind just made up about what she said. You see, the problem is not what she said. The problem is I believed all the things my mind had to say about what she said. But not that evening. I simply didn't believe what she said. I had no anger, no angst, wasn't pissed at her. I sat there peacefully. And I told her something I've never told her in my life. I said, what you're saying to me is not true. What you are saying to me is not true. I just sat there in peace with knowing spirit, realizing that our relationship would never be the same. It was better. She simply got up and left the room. So, ladies and gentlemen, 3 things. You cannot know everything, but it's easy to forget this when you're always making predictions and then filling in the blanks where you don't know and pretending that that's knowledge. So therefore, number 2, don't believe everything you think. Stay curious. Number 3, your mind is divided between 2 teachers. One will teach you how big you are. The other will teach you how small you are. I didn't share the story about what the mind says about how big you are because you'll get to it if you understand the nature of the other teacher and stay curious. There's a teaching that the Cherokee have. Little story I really love, not just because I think my grandmother was Cherokee. Cherokee elder was teaching his grandchildren about life. They said to him, "A fight is going on inside me. It is a terrible fight between two wolves. One wolf represents anger, fear, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, ignorance, hatefulness, and lies. The other stands for joy, peace, hope, humbleness, kindness, friendship, generosity, faith, truth." That same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person. Children thought about this for a minute. One child asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" Cherokee elder replied, "The one you feed." Thank you, CCL. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Ken, my good friend. Thank you. If you want
Christina?
more deepening
Christina?
into curiosity, Reverend Ken practices the Course in Miracles with a group, and it's in the announcements. The next meeting is next Monday, a week from tomorrow. So thank you, Reverend Ken. And now Reverend
Christina?
Catherine is going to do our prayer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So allowing these words and the gentle blessings that came through Reverend Ken this morning to touch our hearts and invite us into play with the limitless creation that we are, always in one, with the divine holy beingness that is through and as each one of us in this holy moment of this day. We allow our brains to manufacture whatever they manufacture. We allow our stories to unfold the way they do. And we allow ourselves to be lifted into the knowing that as we release all of this, stand in this present moment and allow ourselves to feed the truth of who we are. Allow ourselves to feed our minds on the truth of who we are. That we become that truth. That we become that joy, that compassion, that grace, that holiness. We become because we already are the very presence of the one source of life. And so as a community, we allow ourselves this morning to just really feel the joy of that magnificence, of this presence that is always, forever within, waiting at the door of our awareness. And so for this community today, we bless ourselves knowing these truths, knowing the holiness that we are, knowing that the attributes and the capacities of what we call God, infinite intelligence, infinite creativity, all of these things which could be held outside us are simply not that. They are our source and within us as we are created in and through the infinite holiness that permeates all things. As our awareness arises, as in this moment, we have been guided by Reverend Ken. As our awareness rises to this truth, we are freed. All things dissolve in the presence of this love. All things come into coherence and all is reset into truth. So we rejoice, we play, we affirm, we look deeply into one another's eyes, and we remember that we are one in this conversation. And we are the holiness itself. Each step, each heartbeat, each breath. We affirm that which makes us limitless, releasing anything. And so it is.
So it's good to be here. Just wanted to say that. And I want to talk a little bit about this song called That's Life. So it's written by a gentleman named Paul Thorne. Paul Thorne's an interesting guy. He had different careers in his life, one of which was a boxer. And he fought Roberto Duran, actually. But this is a conversation, or kind of a put together conversation, things his mom would say to him. He's a Southern gentleman, so there's a lot of those references in there. This is his mom speaking. Thank you, I'm okay, I guess. I just need a little rest. I'll catch up on my sleep tonight. I ain't complaining, that's life. I got blueberries in the yard. I bought 100 mason jars. Gonna pick them when they're ripe. Another season, that's life. Wipe that tear out from your eyes. Behind a cloud, the sun still shines. You are in my prayers every night. Enjoy the journey, that's life. There's a touch of fall in the wind. Can't wait till you come back again. You're the brightest star in my sky. Wish you could stay, that's life. No, it's time for you to go. Here's a sandwich for the road. It's always hard to say goodbye. Ain't that the truth? That's life. Wipe that tear out from your eyes. Behind a cloud, the sun still shines. You are in my prayers every night. Enjoy the journey, that's life. Wipe that tear out from your eyes. Behind a cloud, the sun still shines. You are in my prayers every night. Enjoy the journey, that's life.
Thank you, Norman. It's beautiful. So let's take a moment, close our eyes, and take a nice deep breath and recognize the divine presence that is always taking care of us, guiding us, loving us, supporting us. Knowing that the abundance of the divine is ours by divine right, that prosperity is ours. Give us this day our daily bread. The divine is always letting us know that we are completely taken care of and that we are abundantly taken care of. knowing that this congregation is filled, that we are prosperous, that money flows to us easily and effortlessly from many different venues. For that is God's good for us. We are filled up. And from that overflow, we give to this wonderful, wonderful consciousness that is CCL. That we come here every Sunday and fill our cups with love and joy and peace. And remember, we are reminded that we are completely taken care of and that we are loved beyond measure. That we are the beloved of the beloved. And that is what we're giving to. That's what we're supporting, is that knowingness, that love, that support that we get here every Sunday. So in this abundance, in this overflow, we give. And it is cyclical. As we give, we do receive with abundance. And so it is. So there's some people I'd like to thank. I want to thank Kay Becknell for ushering and doing the altar. Beautiful altar. I want to thank Marty and John and Melissa and Wayne for all of the tech work that is being done here. Jane for setting up. Sarah for doing the refreshments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that's everybody. Andy, thanks for ushering. Yes, she is. She's always helping. I know that. Thank you, Andy. So thank you. Want to bring Kay up?
So now if you will repeat with me the offering found in your bulletin. Thank you, God, for this abundance that is mine to share. I bless this gift and give it to thee in gratitude and joy, knowing that as I give, I do receive.
And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Giving thanks for this abundance, giving thanks for this knowingness that God always takes care of us. Giving thanks for the knowingness that we are on this journey that Norman was talking about. This journey to awareness, awakening, to the knowingness that we are completely taken care of by the divine. And we give thanks for that givingness, that love, and that support. And together we say, and so it is.
So one of the blessings that we have in this community is each other and the community as a whole. And one of the things we love to do at our services here on Sunday is to welcome new visitors, because each of you is a blessing to us. So if any of you here is here for the first time today, we would ask you to please stand up and receive a special blessing. Oh. Thank you for your bravery. And also, we'd like to acknowledge special dates and times in our lives. So if anyone here has a birthday this week or an anniversary or other special occasion, we would ask you to stand as well. Yeah. So if you please repeat after me. Welcome. Welcome to the Center for Conscious Living.
Welcome to the Center for Conscious Living.
We are a heart-centered spiritual community.
We are a heart-centered spiritual community.
We open ourselves to you in love, and we recognize the perfection of God within you. We celebrate the joyous being that you are, knowing that you are a radiant point of light,
Knowing that radiant point of light.
and that we are blessed by your presence.
We are blessed by your presence.
Welcome home.
Welcome.
Thank you. So Reverend Catherine will now do the announcements.
Morning, everyone. Again, over and over. It is such a pleasure to be here. I really want to say that I have missed being in your presence physically so much, and I am so grateful for this. I want you all to know that we are definitively coming home next week. We will be back Saturday and we'll be at service on Sunday. And I want to start by announcing next Sunday's service will be a very exciting service for all of us. The Venerable Bhante Wimala, who many of you know and love, will be here. He will be honored. We will be honoring him and blessing him and celebrating him, as it is a birthday. It is a celebration of some of his accomplishments and awards in the world, and also his newest project in Kenya. We will be celebrating with his community, the Triple Gem group, who will join us here. There will be a service and then a celebration afterward. There will be a video about his new projects, and there will be lots of time to play music and enjoy each other's company. So again, we're going to have a service first. He will be the talk. He will be doing the talk and a meditation during that service. And then he will join us afterwards for a celebration. So we hope that all of you will let your friends know, let yourselves know, mark your calendars, come in person if you can, to be in person with this beautiful consciousness we call Bhante. His quote that we put in the newsletter: peace is a state of mind that should spread from person to person. Where there are more individuals who experience inner peace, there will be more peace in the world. He is a loving, compassionate, and kind man, and we are thrilled to have him with us. Please join us. Please enjoy his company, and please know that he is very much looking forward to coming back to this community, which he considers to be his home in America. And we are welcoming him with outstretched arms, looking forward to spending the day with him. It's immediate. The celebration will be immediately following the service right here where we are. So just come for the service, stay for a while, and we will have a beautiful service and a blessing. Please check your newsletter, because everything about him and everything about how we're going to do this is there, and we want you to know all about it. Checking in again about our practitioner classes. Our classes, we have practitioner classes starting for 10 weeks, starting the 20th of September. We are going to have one more Q&A in person on September 3rd, right following the service. We'd love anybody who has questions about practitioner or even about foundation. Please join us at that time. Again, we will be in person. You can come and ask all your questions. So Foundations for Living actually starts the 5th. You can sign up for that now. Your newsletter has all of the links to sign up for all these exciting classes. And when you check your newsletter, you will see that there are different ways that we are doing the practitioner class this year. We are offering a 1-year program for those who want to be in the prayer ministry and want to serve that way, and a 2-year program if you want to be a licensed professional practitioner. So you can check with us if you have questions. We'll be happy to answer them for you. We would love you to join us in live prayer. We do prayer together Tuesdays through Fridays at 12 noon. All of the things I'm talking about have links in your chat if you're online and are in your newsletter also. So go find your newsletter and find out where we do all these things. We do it at noon on Zoom, Tuesdays through Fridays. Most beautiful opportunity to center into our intimate connection with the divine spirit that is in all of us and enjoy the presence. You don't have to speak, and you can speak. You can come and you can go. It is a blessed place where you may come and be in the presence in any way that suits you. We meet at noon again, Tuesdays through Fridays. We have other things on our calendar. Let's see, we have Bhante, as we mentioned, coming next week. And then we have a big fundraiser, which I am going to leave for last because that's going to be told to you by some of your friends in person. Unity World Day of Prayer is happening at the Unity community. It's on September 13th. I will be participating in that with other of the local leadership, and we invite you to join us there, please. And there is a flyer in your newsletter. Please fill out your prayer requests that are on your chairs. We also pray in confidential meetings for anyone in this congregation. And please also reach out to the office with those prayers if you would like to, by email or by phone. That information should be in the chat or on your newsletter. Please know we are here to pray for you. We are here to lift you and to love you. And it is our great joy to serve you. I am so looking forward to seeing you next week. We're grateful, grateful, grateful to be on our way and happy to be in person with you again. And now I would like to invite Reverend Paul, Andy, and Melissa, who are the fundraising team, to bounce to the front and do their thing, because this is the most exciting thing that we have done in a while. And it's sort of a new imprint for our new community that has come from the roots of the blessings of all of you. And so here we are. Thank you so much. Blessings
So
and
this-
love to all of you.
Sorry. So this is the beginning of the fundraising committee. I want to thank Andy and Melissa. They're doing most of the stuff, and I'm going, oh yeah, that's great. Okay, all right, let's do that. Let's do it. But we've got a wonderful evening planned for you. September 9th, 7 to 9. When you get your tickets, you'll know where the event is happening. So you need to buy tickets to be at the event. It's in the newsletter. You can. It's also at in our website, CCL website. We're going to sell tickets in the back today and every Sunday until till September 9th. It's just going to be fun. It's going to be it's a concert. It is Music for the Soul. CCL presents Music for the Soul, and all of our musicians are going to play a concert for us. Norman Taylor, Ginger Coyle, Dale Cottrell, and Jackie Greggs. So it will be a wonderful evening. There'll be food and drink, and it's an opportunity for us to get together as a community in a party atmosphere. And nobody parties like CCL. So come join us. You can get tickets. You can volunteer if you would like to volunteer. We need more volunteers. Just come, hang out, listen to music, play. I promise you, it's going to be an extraordinary evening. 7 to 9, September 9th. Come join us. All right.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Thanks. See you there.
One of these days I'll get the hang of this. All right. Knowing our oneness with each other. Knowing our power and our joy and our love, which emanates from deep within. Knowing that oneness is the truth of our being here as a community. We are all one. We are all this love, this joy, this peace. And as we walk forth today from this service of community and of love, we remember to take that curiosity with us that Reverend Ken spoke about. We remember to take that discernment with us, to look at our mind and to look at which part of our mind is speaking to us. And we take with us that intention to always walk with the mindfulness of peace and of joy and of love, which is the Holy Spirit's mind speaking to us. We are deeply grateful for each and every one of our members here today and for the love that flows among us. And in this gratitude, in this love, in this peace, in this joy, I say, and so it is.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? You don't need the microphone, right?
No, no.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my body. Life is in my mind. Life is in my feelings. Life's in all my activities. I receive it, I share it, I am it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is. Thank you, life. Yeah.